Go.
Okay, Steve. Talking with a Dad, episode 3. Steve, sponsors.
I want to thank Goya Rice for reaching out to us and bringing us this opportunity to share the goodness with everyone else. Goya. Oh boy.
That was a good one. That was a good one. Talking with a Dad, episode 3.
Can't believe we're at episode 3 already.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's been 3 weeks.
I know. Good point.
Oh,
Good point.
man. How was your week, Steve? How was your week?
Man, I got to tell you, it's been the best week of my life for so many different reasons,
okay.
man. Yeah, it's
The
been
exact
really good.
opposite of what I expected, but okay.
No, listen, man, I am the epitome of positivity. I'm not gonna let anything hold me down tonight.
That's fair. That's fair. So within this last week, we've had the opportunity to attempt to try and watch this Gears Pro match, right? What did you think? Did you get a chance to watch it?
Yeah, I watched it. I watched it a couple of times.
Did you watch?
Actually.
You watched all of that?
Well, yeah, I have. So this is my dad thing, right? I have 2 times to really do things when I'm not really committed to the family. If I'm gonna do this stuff with you, I have to sacrifice some sleep. But I can't get to sleep after we've been playing video games or we've done a podcast.
Okay.
So I'm up for another 2 hours watching stuff on YouTube while I lay in bed. And so I watched it. I fell asleep at the midway point the first time.
Sure.
And of course, that doesn't count. So I started over again while I was driving one day to work. Started drifting off. And this is not about the gameplay at all. It was just like, it wasn't as epic as the I don't know the backstory to this tournament. It sounds like there's some backstory that I'm unaware of. But I did watch it and I was impressed by the gameplay. I'm just gonna say this, that after playing CS:GO, and this is not disparaging any professional Gears 5 or Gears players. I don't want anyone showing up to my house, attempting anything crazy. But yeah, I just wasn't as taken back by it as I was the CS turn. But again, there was a huge backstory with that, so I was invested. I was in deep on that one. This one I was just like, meh.
Yeah,
But
well, this one we knew what team was going to win, right?
Yes.
That Tox team, or what was formerly the Optic Gaming team and is now the NRG team.
Yes.
They were the best roster of all time. They won 17 of 18 Gears 4 tournaments. They won the only Gears 5 tournament out right now. So they've won 18 of their last 19 tournaments.
Yeah.
It's just, that was the way that it was going to happen, right? So I watched it. And it was very clear in the first game that they weren't quite cooperating. They weren't quite communicating the way that they seemed like they normally do.
Yeah,
they lost that first game and then just won 3 in a row. And the last game was convincing. The last game they won with no issues. They won 6-1. They didn't care. They won in the way that they wanted to. They avoided. They
dominated, dude.
Yeah, they avoided getting kills to get the point win. They did what they do, right?
Right.
So, yeah, I knew Gears 5, you would like the gameplay more than CS, but the entire overall experience is not as good.
Okay, so here's the thing, right? As of right now, in my limited experience, what is it called? Modern Warfare. Separate. We won't go down that path just yet.
Okay.
I actually have had more fun playing CS:GO. But that's me playing against you with bots. So that's like just messing around. I don't know how I would feel if I went, because I've played PvP on my own and Gears and had a good time.
Yeah.
But I enjoy CS:GO a little bit more.
Yeah, you won't enjoy it in full PvP.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, because people are so good, and at the level that you're gonna play, there's so many people who have like aim bots and all this weird stuff that it won't be fun. It isn't fun for me to play. Like, I enjoy when we play together, but I don't enjoy actually playing. People are so good at that game. It's silly.
And yeah, you said it's riddled with hackers too.
It is, yeah, it's severely.
But no, I mean, the Gears tournament was like, I'm going to be completely honest with you. Like, yes, it did feel like I was watching the original Dream Team, and those other guys were Argentina, right?
Yeah,
so like at one point, it was just like, oh man, they lost that first round. Sorry if I don't get the. But then it was just kind of like after that, the strategy kicked in, the communication kicked in. Oh, but also, you know what? I did watch another one. But I didn't watch that much of it. And it was another game. Like, it was kind of like a preliminary game in Mexico or something like that. I'll see if I can get it to you.
Okay.
And this was like a bunch of rookies. Now, these guys were not as polished.
Right.
This was great to watch. This was great.
You're like, I feel like I could fill in for one of these guys.
Dude, it was so amazing because it's like it was like just balls to the wall, empty the clip. I
Oh
haven't hit
yeah,
this guy once type of like play. And
yeah,
I was like, oh, now this is pretty fun to watch. Not that the other one was definitely high level skill. So
yeah.
what is my conclusion on Gears tournaments? To be determined is what I'm
Okay.
saying, right? I don't know enough about. I gotta get some backstory. You know what? I
There
make fun
isn't
of my.
much backstory in Gears though. It's that team
There is
dominates everybody. They dominate
now,
everybody.
isn't there like a seedy underbelly of Gears playing? I've seen some stuff on a YouTube while I was perusing, doing some research, and there's some guys that are pretty nasty, but they don't get into tournaments, and they seem to all be from Mexico. It's what I
Oh,
noticed. Like,
that I don't know about.
yeah, I was watching a few guys who were just doing a few PvPs, and like they'll broadcast their channel. And I'm like, oh
Uh-huh.
man, this guy's sick. I'm like above average sick. I'm like, I wonder why he doesn't do tournaments and stuff like that. But I got to be honest, from what I've read of the reviews from some of those same players in tournaments, they don't even like Gears 5, which is a strange thing. Like a lot of
New,
people,
brand
yeah.
new.
Oh, is that what it is? Just getting
Yeah,
familiar with it?
it's
Okay.
brand new. Most people don't like the new game when it comes.
Okay.
But then there's also the people who are the purists who then don't like a game because they made changes or what have you. So yeah, that's definitely a thing. I don't know much about Gears. Like I knew that it would be something that you'd be more interested in because we've been playing it.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't really follow the Gears scene. I don't really even
Yeah.
go out of my way to watch a Gears game. Right? I struggled through that one that we watched. I really did. I was bored. I had it on the side while I was doing other things. I just found it to be boring. I don't know how to put it a different way. I just thought it was boring. Some esports are like that, unfortunately.
Name two other boring esport games.
Rocket League. Rocket League is
Really?
awful. Yeah, Rocket League's fun to play,
Right.
but it's awful to watch because those guys are so crazy that it's like, oh, okay, like whatever. Like this is weird. Yeah, Gears and Rocket League I think are the worst, are the two most boring, for sure.
Is there any point when you're watching Rocket League and like a sobering thought comes over you, like I am literally watching a competition in a virtually set world of guys driving a car into a ball?
No, because you know why? Because I'm like,
oh,
oh man, I love playing this game. I like playing
right.
Rocket League. The watching the tournaments are so bad because most of the game is done in the air, and there's just stuff that is like, okay, like I couldn't even do this if I wanted to, or even really tried to. So, like, there's that level, and it's like, okay, but there's also boring. Like the production isn't as good. That's one thing I do notice in Gears. The production isn't as good as what Counter-Strike is, and Counter-Strike is probably the best. Maybe League of Legends, but they're both up there. But it's just, I don't know. Yeah, Rocket League is something to be had there, and Gears is that too.
It's funny. I was going to say earlier. I make fun of my wife. I was telling you this before. How she loves. My wife is as big a fan as of MMA as I am.
Yeah,
Right. She'll never watch a Bellator match.
yeah.
She won't watch Invicta. But she knows a lot of the fighters that are in there. So
Okay,
she's not casual. Like she knows the roster of these organizations and stuff like that. But she really enjoys The Ultimate Fighter. She
okay.
enjoys looking for a fight with Dana White. And
Yeah,
she also enjoys the Contender series. And she likes those shows because there's a drama behind them. And I stopped watching Ultimate Fighter years ago. Every once in a while I'll
same.
catch an episode with her because of the drama. But I realized after watching that Cloud9 versus FaZe tournament that I was like, man, I was really invested in the backstory of that. So I walked into this Gears thing and I was trying to find stuff about the players.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really much. Like
The biggest thing on that is the explosion. The captain for Tox in this tournament, the guy's lost like 200 pounds.
oh, nice.
Yeah, so that's like the biggest thing. But like, again, who kind of cares?
Oh,
right?
he cares, Zach.
Yeah, of course. No, good for him. Like, right, it's a tremendous thing to do, but it doesn't add to the allure of what the game is going to be. Right?
Absolutely.
Going into that FaZe versus C9 match, C9 was not supposed to win that.
No.
They dropped maps. The FaZe it was an incredible team coming up into this game. That it just didn't make any sense that they
Yeah.
won it, and that's why it was cool. It was an underdog story.
Yeah.
So, what game do we want to watch for next week, right? Because I think we need to do a whole different game.
So here's the thing, right? I sent you. I'm gonna keep pushing on you this one.
The
Sent you that
stupid
video.
Tekken thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Why is it stupid?
Because it's a fighting game. The fighting game hasn't had a good competitive scene
Did you
since
watch
like
it?
the 80s. No!
It's a little watching.
No!
Watch it, dude. This guy showed up to Vegas and just wrecked some
Sure.
elitists.
Okay. I mean, I'll
It-
watch it, but it might be another 9 weeks before I watch it, get around to it, you know?
Did you say 9 weeks?
Yeah, maybe 12 weeks.
What are you counting pregnancy time? Right?
No, maybe I
Like,
just.
it's a 20-minute video, dude.
That's a long
what are you
video.
doing? No. It's the longest Snapchat you'll ever watch, dude. It's amazing. But I think what's a good game to watch next tournament?
You want to go
Tell
old
me.
school? What do you want to do? We go old school. We can go to Halo. We'll go back to Halo and watch some.
Yeah, let's do Halo, man.
Let's watch some Halo
Let's do
2.
Halo.
Let's watch
I
Halo
would-
2. I think they had the national championship in Halo 2. Let's watch Halo
Right.
2. Whatever the final tournament of Halo 2 was. I'll find it for you and I'll send it to you.
All right.
That's what
Gears.
we'll watch.
You get, unfortunately, Gears, I enjoy your gameplay, but you do not get the dad's approval. You get 2 thumbs down for that tournament.
Ow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm about on the same.
But that does not take away from the skill level or anything like that. So
No,
before
no,
you
it's
start
nothing
getting
against
into
the-
your feelings,
Nothing against the
about anything.
players, the
nah.
game, the production, the storylines. They're not there like Counter-Strike.
Yeah. No, absolutely not. In fact, we're going to segue right out of that. So we got Gears out of the way. Oh, what's up on number 2? What does this MW stand for? Is that McWiki?
Oh, we're not
making-
talking about that because I don't need to.
Oh, we're going to talk about it. We're going to
Go ahead. Take it away.
No.
Steve went on his own volition and bought
Take it easy.
Modern
take it easy,
Warfare.
Take it easy.
against
How have
my
you-
better judgment.
You didn't tell me not to buy it. But let me ask you a question. How are you enjoying the game?
Better than the beta.
Okay,
I
tell me why. Explain why.
So the game feels a little bit different. Your character feels a little bit lighter than they did before. So the issue for me was it felt like the game penalized movement. In a way that Battlefield kind of does, but Battlefield has big maps, so you have chance to move before you get into a position. The game felt like it penalized movement. So you would be penalized for going around corners. You'd be penalized for just running through the middle of the map, trying to get from spot to spot. So that's how Modern Warfare in the beta felt for me, especially on the PC. It felt a little bit easier on the console. And the movement feels a little bit better. It feels like they made your character like 30 pounds lighter or something. And you move a little bit better. You run a little bit faster. So they didn't penalize movement as much. So that's what I'm liking about it so far. I thought in the beta that the gunplay was amazing, that the game modes are really good, that the maps are awful. Let's just say that. But everything core about the game, the mechanics and such, were really good. Other than your character felt a little too heavy.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my big issue. Now, if you really want to talk about like minutia, the maps are probably the worst that you've seen on launch of any Call of Duty ever.
Okay, wow. That's a
there's
heavy statement.
maybe 1 or 2 good maps. And
Wow.
there's 20 on launch. So, you're hitting about 10 or 5 or 10%, as far as, good maps go. There are maps that are maybe classified, I would think, in my opinion, right? I don't consider myself an expert, but I've played a lot of the game, and most of them. Maybe the worst maps of all time. Right? There are 2 maps. There are 2 maps that are really, really bad. Azir Caves is just terrible. There's no way around how bad that map is. And then
Now, what's bad about it? I'm sorry to cut you off.
so
there,
there's an inside and an outside portion of it, and one half of it's a cave and one half of it's outside. And oddly enough, the cave is the more open portion of the map, even though it's completely enclosed. It's really hard to see in and out of because it's really bright on the outside and really dark on the inside. So there's like a really like a light gap between the two, right? Which is like things that happens in real life. If you look into a cave, you can't really see into it because of how bright it is outside and how dark it is. That effect happens in the game, which is okay. It's cool, whatever. It's a good lighting effect. But then once you get inside the cave, it's still dark. Corners are way too dark. You can't see people in corners. And then there is like when you look down a line of sight, the issue with so the nice thing about Call of Duty usually is when you're down a line of sight, there's about 2 ways you could be seen, below or above, right?
Mhm.
Other than the way that you're looking, right? So I guess 3. In this, when you look down a line of sight, specifically in this map, and the cave is not even probably the worst portion of it, is there is three different levels of which you could be, 3 different lanes in which you could be seen from, and then different levels in each one of those lanes. So there's like 16 or 18 different ways that you have to look to make sure that you're not being seen, and that doesn't even count what's behind you.
Okay.
So there's just way too many places to look inside the map, inside the line of sight that you're sitting to try to hold or try to push or whatever. And there's entrances in and out of the cave, and then there's like different levels. There's like 2 or 3 different tunnels that go through it, and all with different elevation changes and with things in front of it for you to sit behind. So there's a lot going on. Usually in Call of Duty, like I said, there's about 5 ways that you could be seen tops. And this has like 20. So it's way more hectic. And then the outside is that like to an even larger extent. There's no one place that you could sit that you have a good line of sight on the entire map that allows you to feel safe, which is cool. It provides a little bit of a bigger sense of urgency, I guess. And then you get penalized for moving too much. So
I think I remember when way before the game came out, I was listening to something the developers, not the documentary they did that everyone was making fun of. This was actually one of the developers talking about the maps, and they spoke to that one point that you just said, like, "Hey, we tried to do something different here,
yeah.
where you couldn't do the same things you can do. They couldn't do the lay and pray or camp out and stuff like that. So I
So
thought maybe that. Go ahead.
the issue is camping is the issue, right?
Right.
The game really, it still to an extent penalizes the people who move more, right? Because there are so many lines of sight when you're trying to run through an area. So that person who sits there and holds a point and is able to pick the people off who are moving is way more successful in this game than they have been in past.
Okay.
And so in most games, like if there was someone sitting in a corner by a door or whatever, I could jump through the door and spray through the door, right? But now to even get to that door is a struggle. And then by the time I'm there, I'm already low health if I've already gotten a kill or two and an engagement, whatever. And then trying to go through the door, that makes it even hard.
Oof.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. Battlefield has this issue too, but in Battlefield it's way different because you play way slower than you do in Call of Duty. Right, you play way more with your team and you push certain objectives and you spawn around the map, and that it's okay, right? Because there's a lot more people on the map. But when it's 6v6 and you're running through an area that could literally have all 6 people looking at you and it would be hard for you to see them, it makes it really hard to move, and it makes it really hard to play on some of these maps.
So that map aside, you do feel like the character is a little bit more buoyant, but a little bit they move a little bit better, the movement's better. But here's the question I know I have to ask you, Zach. We can go into a bunch of technical jargon, but the question I need to ask is, are you having fun playing it? Because I know that's a huge deal to you.
Sometimes.
All right. I want a freeze frame right there on his face, everyone. If you look at that face right there, like that is a man who is not having fun.
Yeah. It's sometimes. Some of the game modes are, so the ground war game mode came out today and it's enormous, right? It's like 32 on 32 or 64 on 64. It's like really big, right? It's Battlefield. And that's fun because the maps make sense with how much is going on, where there could be people everywhere, right? And you have to look at all these different spots, and that's fine. Right, I don't mind that in a game.
Right.
But when it's 6v6 and my death means that entire portion of the map gets pushed through, it's way more harsh on the game than it is if I die in Ground War. Ground War is fun. I have fun while playing Ground War. But, I've had fun. Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't be level 26
I'm having a good time. I go out with her again.
I wouldn't be level 26 already if I wasn't having
Let me ask you a question. Have you done any of the story mode?
No,
Anything in it?
no.
There's a plot, I assume, right?
Yeah.
I saw something about a plot. You're not going to get into it.
The Modern Warfare games actually notoriously have the best campaigns in all of Call of Duty. So Modern Warfare 2 was very good. COD 4 was really good. Modern Warfare 3 was really good. So I don't see why this game would be any different. I heard it was short. I saw a video that was 2.5 hours long, and then I also heard that it was actually 6 hours long. So
Okay. All right. All right.
it's short.
Well, I'm gonna have to take your word for it. I'm gonna take your word for all of it.
So
But we'll get there eventually.
here's what we're getting down to. Steve is
Where we get
having
there.
issues with his game. Now,
Okay.
I've tried to explain that this is pretty standard for when a new Call of Duty comes out, and it'll eventually get patched and eventually work, but it still doesn't stop us both from being bothered that we can't play it.
Hey, you gotta admit, I'm handling this way better than the Ghost
You
Recon
left a
thing.
call last night without even saying goodbye.
That's good. You talk to any of my friends from the past, and they'll say, "Wow, he has really changed." Because I would have left the call 6 years ago, saying more than goodbye.
um,
Well, you know
yeah,
what it was. You know what it was. You know what it is. I'm actually looking forward. So I was looking forward to this. Not, I could care less about the game itself. I was looking forward to it more because I was so pumped to do it for the channel. Right? I
yeah.
was
No,
like,
we'll get it to work. We'll get it to work. I have a few
but
more things we're gonna try, but we've tried a lot so far. But we're gonna
the
get it to
next
work.
step is I'm gonna drive over to Zach's house right now in the other part of Canada. I'm gonna drop the computer off. So this might be the last time you guys see me for a little while. He'll dismantle the whole thing, put it back together. I'm sure there's something I did wrong there, and but we are still gonna bring you content
For
from
sure,
that.
Modern Warfare content will start as soon as we can make it start.
Plus, I
I
got a
have
couple of call outs that I need to handle. Some people called me out on YouTube. I heard from our channel moderator.
yeah.
Gotta get to
Jeff
that.
Jeff has been filing the claims down to us. Whoever wants to
Yes.
play, because the issue is when you want to play Steve, you're gonna have to deal with me. And if you
And it's gonna go vice versa for fighting games too, right? Which
yeah.
is I'm taking all challengers, and you know what? When I find that one kid that beat me one round in Street Fighter and then signed off and didn't let me get the get back. I wrote your screen name down. I got you. I swear I've been waiting for you to sign back on. But yeah, once we have it, we're looking forward to that content. So that's why I'm bummed out. I'm not bummed out. Like I was actually looking forward to grinding in
Ghost
Rainbow
Recon.
Six. Ghost Recon. Sorry about that. I was looking forward to playing a game by myself and just getting into the story. But hey, I'm gonna let people take a shot at me right now. I've been playing Anthem, having the time of my life. Don't know how much longer I have left in the game.
About 8 minutes.
Like 8 more minutes in the game.
So we will eventually get Modern Warfare to work. I'm sure I could figure it out. Worst comes to it, we're just gonna do an OS reinstall and then just install Modern Warfare and see if it works then. Or adding things to it.
Slowly.
We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there.
Or we shoot the computer. We shoot the computer.
I mean, I have an extra one.
You do. And that is a sign of prosperity in America.
I just don't want. That's a recording computer. That's the recording computer. That's the recording computer.
I guess that I gotta ask this question, man.
Go ahead.
Gameplay's looking good. Feeling a little bit better. But you did play it for a little while on the sticks. Would you, for any reason, and I'm asking this for all my friends that play on console, because the crossplay, like we were talking with Reg
Yeah.
just a second ago, would you, for any reason, switch to PS4 to check it out to see what the gameplay is? And would you, because I've done some research on COD per your request, the
Mhm.
tournaments and stuff like that, and there's not that big of a skill gap between the PC players and console players. Like the guys who are using those augmented controls, they're pretty sick.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about those guys crossplay? Would you play on the console?
I have, right? So I started with Call of Duty on the console, and
Right.
I played all of World War II on the PS4, which was 2 years ago. So, yeah, I mean, not really. I prefer to play it on PC. That's where all of my friends play it.
Right.
That's really the bigger deal. Would I, if I were just by myself, I would probably still play it on PC, but I would also buy it for PS4, with the idea of just trying to see how I am. I've actually, like, I think in World War II, I played like pretty well, right? It takes me a few games, 4 or 5 games to like figure out the controls again, but then it's just it's natural again. Yeah, I could go on to PS4 right now and be competitive for sure.
Okay.
But I just
Are you
don't need to.
Not with the crossplay. You seen any of those guys coming over? Are they're holding their own, or what are you thinking about that?
We played a search and destroy earlier today, where so it's like 6-on-6, but
Mm.
there were 4 of us in a call, and we had 2 randoms on our team, and we 6-0'd a team of full console kit. And then
Oh
at
shit!
one point, the console kids were like in lobby talking and complaining because like one of the people we're playing with hit a shot where he shoots a guy by a barrel and then instantly like jumps and snaps onto a guy that was like 90 degrees to his left. And the console guys are like, we just can't do that. They literally said out loud, we can't do that. Like that movement doesn't make sense. So then it became a joke every time we were to get a kill cam. And we just like spin around really fast, like because you can't control it like that. So like we just made funny of it. But yeah, there's a movement difference between the games. It's different. Yeah, there are some console people who are good. Yeah, for sure. I'll give them that. But you know, the top of the PC game versus the top of the console game just isn't the same.
Right.
So
yeah, because you were saying Shroud really didn't stand a chance. Actually, a very competitive match between him and Scump and whoever those.
But he wasn't on a PC. He was on a PS4 with a control or a keyboard and mouse. So
they mapped that really well for him for the game level, the gameplay that he got. Have you ever mapped a keyboard to a PS4 or PS3 before?
I tried it.
It's
not easy.
It's not easy.
Yeah, no, I know. And they make it a little bit easier for the PS4 now with Call of Duty. It's natively supported instead of through an adapter. But
yeah,
I don't know. He was streaming it yesterday, right?
Yeah.
And he was just mowing through team like he does. He's a bot. I would love to see him like a show match of him and 2 pros versus Doc and 2 pros. That would be a really fun show match. Like a 3-on-3, but the Shroud is just so good, dude. It's hard. And his thing is not just his aim, his game knowledge is incredible. His game knowledge is incredible.
Timing is amazing.
Timing is good. Knowing where to be on the map, knowing where to push on a map, knowing where to throw a stun. Right. He's good. Yeah.
Did you catch that one clip where he so he entered the room, got this guy right here, bam, got him out of there. Then saw the guy in the right trying to run by, who was basically running away at this point, got him while he was running away. He jumps off the ledge. The guy who's shooting at him while he jumps off the ledge, Shroud shot him all the way down and then put him down when he landed. And he wound up getting killed 2 more kills later on that same run. But I was like, dude, that's friggin' amazing, man. It's friggin' amazing.
Yeah, you know, and it's the level of competition he's playing against too. Because you know, I had a play earlier where I did something very similar, where there were 3 guys that ran around a corner at the same time, and I just mowed all 3 of them down while all 3 of them were shooting at me. So you know, it's definitely doable. Shroud has those moments every game. Most people don't. So that's really what it turns out.
If anyone hasn't seen Zach play COD or anything like that, I've been playing CS:GO with him, which is a different game, but he is not tooting his own horn. The man's got a good aim. He killed me and my bots. Where were you at? You were sniping us at one point. I was just like, this is pretty bad.
I was standing in your spawn. I was standing in his spawn and just killing everything. I mean, whatever. I've been doing it for a long time, so I better be good at it. But I was watching Shroud, not on Twitch, on
Where
Mixer.
Were you watching him at?
Shroud is now the next person to move to Mixer. And the numbers show he peaked at 78,000 while Doc peaked at 100. Yeah. Shroud would have been well over 100,000 people watching him on Twitch. Yeah. It's just the unfortunate thing. I wonder how much money they paid him, because I want to know how much money he lost.
So here's the thing, right? They're developing a market they're developing a brand over there. They have to have some projections on this whole scenario where they know that there's going to be an immediate hit to the amount of people that are going to come over to Mixer, because they don't even have the base for that.
Right.
But I do think it's very interesting. Very, very interesting that they've pulled. So we all know where Ninja.
2.
Yeah. So we know where Ninja was at in his career.
Yeah.
But Shroud's different, right?
Shroud's at the top. He's the most popular he's ever been. Yeah,
and he wasn't on a decline, right? There was no sense that he was on a decline. So
his projections were still going up.
So it's very interesting, because it's like this is not UFC versus Bellator, right? Bellator was never a real threat because they could never really pull anyone of worth away from the UFC. They got Ryan Bader. No, think about it for a second.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Phil Davis. They got
Musasi,
guys who had lost. You know what I'm saying? Musasi's different. That
Douglas Lima.
Douglas Lima was never in the UFC.
Really?
Wait, which one is the brother in Bellator?
Douglas is in Bellator. Diego
Douglas
is in
yeah,
UFC.
Douglas was never in the UFC, believe it or not.
He'd go in there and
But
he'd make a run at the championship, though.
today.
Yeah.
Absolutely today.
Yeah.
But the thing when I enjoy I'm liking what I'm seeing from Mixer. They're going aggressively, dude. They're going aggressively and now and here's a good example, right? I don't want to put him on blast. So when Ninja left,
Yeah.
your man Tim, the tattoo guy
Yeah,
there,
Tim the Tap Man.
yes.
Tim the
When Ninja
tattoo
left,
guy. Okay.
so when Ninja left, you know, it was the reaction was way different. He's like, "Oh, how much would they?" This is a direct quote. I can get you the video.
Yeah.
He's like, "How much could they pay me? They couldn't pay me enough."
Right.
Boom! It's on record. I watch his reaction to Shroud leaving. No, it's a little different.
Yeah, he's like,
It's a little
maybe they
different.
could pay me enough.
He's like, yeah, it's a little different. He's like, someone asked him, how much would they have to pay you? Same question,
Yeah.
different context. How much would they have to pay you to leave Twitch? He was like, I'm not a businessman, never been a businessman, but I know it's not smart for me to say that out loud.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. Right. I don't know, man. It's so the numbers don't lie, right?
The numbers don't
The
lie.
quarter after Ninja went to Mixer, Mixer's viewership and time viewed went down.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
It went down. It doesn't make any sense. It went down. Why would you then go pull presumably another $2 million a year person into Mixer? If they go down again, do they pull a third person? They can't pull Doc. They cannot pull Doc. Mixer's entire thing is for them to be family friendly. They can't pull Doc because he's not, right?
It's funny because Tim said he thinks Doc is the next one to go, and he wasn't just being cute. He was like, literally, if someone had to ask me who's next, he's like,
because he's the next.
He's, like,
he's the top one now. If
yeah.
are they gonna post a top 5? Right?
No, it's actually I meant to write this down for you, man. It's actually not Doc. He's actually not
who
the
is
number one.
Summit?
I think it might have been Summit, but
They definitely can't pull Summit.
no.
Summit's also not very family friendly.
Yeah, well, I think he's signed exclusively. Everyone, as you're watching this, there might be a chance where we come back and readdress some of these points we've made to fact check them and stuff like that. But it's exciting stuff, man. I'm excited for you, dude.
Why?
You know, I'm excited for streamers because that means that Twitch might not, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not next year, won't have a monopoly on this. It's good for commerce to have healthy competition, dude.
Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree. And the changes that Twitch has made already due to them getting Ninja taken away from them have been pretty good. So I totally get that. I don't see anywhere that Summit 1G is signed exclusively to Twitch.
All right, who is it? Let me see who's signed exclusively.
The Nick A30.
Is that it?
That's the one that we were talking about during Destiny that day. Yes, and I had edited in there in the Destiny footage. Guy was a YouTube streamer before. They pulled. It was like one of the bigger YouTube streamers, and they pulled him from YouTube to Twitch. He was the only person so far that I know of that's been signed exclusively to Twitch.
And Nick Merckx signs exclusive stream deal with Twitch.
Okay, and Nick Merckx. Nick Merckx is, top 10, but he's not. He's not Shroud. He's not Doc. He's not Ninja. He's not Tfue.
You see any difference in quality in the presentation on Mixer versus Twitch? Anything that stands out? Same.
It's the same, yeah. Because they just move their stuff and unlabel the Twitch stuff and label it Mixer, right? They keep the graphics. Like the graphics aren't owned by Twitch, right? Shroud and Ninja own their graphics, so they move that stuff over to Mixer, rebrand it slightly, and then they're fine. Yeah. Now the one thing I don't like that Twitch is doing is now they get pouty. And they play this game where they don't like. So if I go search Shroud's stuff on Twitch right now, it's harder to find than it was before.
Oh yeah.
So that I don't like. I don't like the game that they're playing there. But whatever. Who cares? He's on Mixer now. It's actually a big move. It's way bigger than the Ninja move, to be honest.
It's more relevant.
Right. It's way more relevant. I'm just curious on what he's at right now on day 2. Probably live. I just on Mixer. I just don't care. You know, I watched him last night because I like to watch Shroud when I can't play a thing. But after I could get into the game, didn't care.
So here's my thing, right? I'm gonna support him in the sense that I like to support. You know me, classical in my political and fiscal views. There, I'm not gonna use because this is not a political show, but I like this type of competition when it comes
Yeah.
to
So do I.
these type of markets.
Here's a note: 21,000 people.
21,000. That's
He'd
it.
be way over 60. Yeah, he'd be way over 60,000 right now.
But there's the viewership on Mixer is just isn't there. But I wonder how many people know that if they have a PC, they don't have to do anything to sign up for Mixer. You sign in with your Microsoft account. So for anyone that doesn't know that, it's literally the same sign in. Like you don't have to do anything.
I get that. I totally do. But like the numbers don't lie. He would be well over 60,000 people right now. The only time he gets under 21,000 is when he's streaming WoW. That's it.
Let me ask you a question. So they have they, or and this is a question, not a loaded one. Have they or have they not rolled Mixer out and its integrated source to Xbox? Because I know they have. So people can watch Mixer on their Xbox. They can watch their favorite streamers.
Yes.
Okay. Well, then this is not looking too good. I take all that back.
No, they definitely can. So here's the realistic thing of Mixer. Right now, we're going into a Mixer conversation rather than a Shroud conversation. Shroud is number 1 at 21.2 thousand people.
Right.
The next person is at 2,800.
Oof.
There is a 18,000 person difference between them.
Yeah.
And then the next person after that is not even 1,000.
Yeah.
960. So, like, if you really wanted to get down to it, let's see. Who's the biggest person on Twitch right now? Summit at 25,000. Okay, it's 4,000 bigger than Shroud. He would never be at the top right now. Shroud would be at the top. That's fine. 16,000 for Hamlin's. 15,000 for Scump. And then Critical Role's at 14,000.
Wait, what was Scump's numbers?
15,000.
15? Okay.
Yeah. So
I would think they would be higher, man.
15,000 is a lot. He doesn't stream very much. So
okay.
You know, like the second person on Twitch has more viewership than probably all of Mixer other than Shroud right now. Like it's just how it is.
Yeah.
The website is, I don't know. I don't know why people don't like it as much as Twitch, because it hasn't been around as long, right? So people aren't as used to it.
Yeah.
But there are things where, you know, I'm sure at some point you're going to have to go through this where parents will only let their, you know, kids watch 100%. Twitch or only let them just watch Ninja, right? That was a thing. Parents were only letting them watch Ninja, and now they have to go to a different site to do that. It seems like a hassle.
Yeah.
Right? So that's one of the biggest things I think is they go, parents were like, okay, well you're allowed to watch Twitch, right? Because we kind of know what's on there. We kind of have an idea. You know, you don't go to this section, don't go to that section, right? Watch these 3 guys. These are your favorite guys, whatever. Cool. We're set. We're good for life, right? But now these people are leaving, going to a different platform. They're losing that viewership, which probably isn't a major portion of it, but it's also notoriously hard to get people to click on a different link.
It is.
It really is.
I think the one thing that might work in their benefit is the branding of Microsoft and something that's recognizable to parents.
Yes.
And then we go, oh, so they hear a name like Microsoft and they associate, because it's a bigger company, you know, they don't know, maybe they don't know much about tech or anything like that. They're like, oh, okay, I trust this. My son has an Xbox.
I have a rebuttal to this entire conversation.
Okay.
Who owns Twitch?
Amazon.
Amazon.
But here's the thing. I don't think the average Joe knows that.
I
don't
think
the average consumer
everybody knows it. Because it was a huge news article. It was a huge
news article that's important and relevant in this context, in this subculture.
So,
you know, I
guess so. Yeah. I just think Twitch is the way bigger site, dude.
Listen, man, I didn't get an invite to TwitchCon, but I just got an invite to MixerCon which isn't happening for another 10 years or so. And I'm going to be there at 48 years old. And my New Balance is grilling for everyone.
Jeez, man.
I'm looking at their partner spotlight on Mixer,
Uh-huh.
and I'm going to read some names off. You tell me if you know any of these people, okay?
Okay.
Right now we
Hold on for a
have
second. This is not to disparage anyone who streams on Mixer.
no.
I'm happy for you wherever you stream and wherever you find success and wherever you can make yourself a living. I appreciate it. Go ahead. We're talking strictly numbers and recognition here. That's all that we're talking. I'm pretty deep into it. Steve, not so much. So this is going to be an exercise of,
This is more just me learning some stuff and
right. Not to disparage anyone who streams on Mixer. You choose your platform. You do you.
And here at Gaming with a Dad, we're a smaller channel and we celebrate the success of everyone.
Of everyone.
Yeah. Of everyone. So okay, right now we got 400 people watching live for Warfare.
No.
All right, and then nope.
The answer to this question is always going to be no.
Yeah, no.
I just
Ninja's offline, Fangs is offline, Invade 3.
I don't know who
Duke
these
of
people
Flukes.
are.
Yeah, no.
I don't know who any of these people are. It's just a lesser known platform. Doesn't make it any worse. I think you could stream at a higher bit rate, so the quality might actually be better on Mixer.
Shroud said he was at 10,000.
Right. So that's what we record these at. Right.
Yeah.
That's what we record that's where I record my gameplays at. Is 10,000, and he's streaming that, which is good for him. Good for him. They have the better back end support. They're backed by Microsoft, which that's why they can afford to pay these guys and not make their money back off.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're investing in it. I'm trying to think of the correct way to say this.
They're investing in the future of the company.
Yes, and they're investing in it.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, they're investing in the future of the company. They're investing in this market, and it's interesting because one of the guys from your favorite show was actually talking about it. I don't have a direct quote, but what's the dark-haired guy's name from Shark Tank?
Cuban?
Yes, he actually
Mark
was
Cuban.
Talking.
I saw that.
What did he say exactly?
He was talking about why it's so bad to own an esports organization as a company.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yes. So he was talking because he actually was really knowledgeable, right? He was actually really knowledgeable, and I was impressed by that. He said, with games and esports, and they're based off of a meta, and when that meta is changing at the whim of the developer, and it could be changing every 30 days or 90 days or every 6 months, he's like, then your team has to relearn that game every single time. And if you go from first to worst, then you've just lost your entire nest egg that you were. Right. Yeah. That's why you see a lot of these teams are not just esports teams. They're also apparel brand.
Yeah.
That's a huge thing. They need to make money to support the other things. And we saw it with 100 Thieves. 100 Thieves didn't buy a Call of Duty franchise spot. They couldn't afford it.
Oh, okay.
They're a big company. But Nadeshot came out and said, he's like, listen, we have the money, but that's it. It was 20 or 25 million to buy into a franchise spot. Plus, you have to pay your players at least $50,000 a year each, plus a 401k, plus health benefits, plus paid time off, plus this, plus that. So he's like, and no one's going to go for a bottom contract. He goes, I can't even sign a competitive team for less than probably a few $100,000 a player.
Right.
So, he's like, I could put the money into it, but I have 300 employees who rely on me to make smart decisions. He's like, this just isn't the smart decision right now.
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Absolutely makes perfect sense. You kind of got to our next segue really quick. I've been gnawing on this. I've been waiting. I've watched thousands of videos today on this, but I more want to hear it from you.
Okay.
I gotta ask, man, since we're talking about esports, let's jump right into it. New optic lineup.
Sure. So it's 2/5 of the last lineup.
Okay, read it out for the people.
Dashy and TJ were there last year. Then this year they added Kenny, they added Slasher, and they added JCap. So the three notable people on this team are Dashy, TJ, and JCap. Okay. Slasher's a good player. He's a very good player. He's a good addition to this team. Kenny, I don't know much of Kenny. I think he played pretty well, but he wasn't like a top top tier and elite player. JCap is really good because he's gonna be able to teach the young guys. Dashy and TJ are like young. They're like 18 and 19 or something. And they're
Okay.
like they're really good. Dashy's probably the best sniper in the league, and TJ's the best utility player probably right now. But JCap is a veteran. He's been playing since COD 4. He has the most Call of Duty World Championships. Won like 2 or 3, and no one else has done that. So he'll be the in-game leader, and that's like probably the most important thing that JCap will provide to this team. I'm not saying he's a bad player. He's actually a really good player. But his in-game leading skills and his just mentorship for the younger guys is going to be incredible. That's going to be a good team. It's going to be a really good team.
Okay. All right. And what about NRG?
So NRG's team. So you got Scump, you got Formal, Gunless, Arcides, and Envoy. I don't know Envoy. Don't know him. Arcides is a really good player. Gunless is a really, really good utility player. And then Scump and Formal are the duo. They're great together. They play really well together.
How are you feeling about? I've been waiting to hear. I purposely did not text you when I was finding all this stuff out today.
This would be a good team if Scump and Formal can get along.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the backstory there?
Formal's a grinder. Scump isn't. That's kind of the rumors of the inner workings of what the teams have as they've been on together. You know, Scump is kind of like he's 24 years old or 25 years old and probably worth $10 million, and he doesn't. Right? Yeah. He's like, it doesn't seem as important to him to win as it does for Formal, who's just a natural born. Right? Some people are natural born competitors, and some people are just good at things.
Yeah.
And so if they can get along, and they said they've squashed the issues, and if they can get along and they can play together, that duo is as far as duos go, they're unstoppable. They're really good. So, but Arcides is a really solid player. He's up and comer, if I remember correctly. The last like 2 or 3 years, he's been like solid. And Gunless is a known commodity. He'll perform.
All right. And who else? So I know I left one team out. There's Optic, there's NRG, and what is
Are
it?
you talking
Dallas?
about the Dallas team?
Yeah.
Dallas. Oh, this is a good team too. Actually, this is the one that Crim6 got on. I think Karma's on this. No, this is Crim6, Clayster, Shotzi, Hook, and Illy. So Shotzi's a Halo pro. Clayster is a legend. Hook is a solid player. Illy is an up and coming player, really good. And Crim6 is the GOAT. Crim6 is won the most championships.
I got to talk to you about copyright infringement and stuff like that because I want to be really careful about what I ask next. So,
okay, go ahead.
The beef between Scump and the other guy. I almost want to find a video. I was queued up and I was like, I don't want to throw any fuel on the fire. What's going on there, dude? Because this guy made what's the guy's name? He made a very dramatic video about
Crim6.
not forgetting.
So that wasn't him. That was his reveal for the Dallas Empire team, right? So so here's the thing. The team is owned by Hastro. Hastro is the counterpart to Hector. Mm-hmm. Those two have been in the game the longest. Those two are like peanut butter and jelly.
Right.
But if they went sour towards each other, right? Because they've been, he owned Envy and Hector owned Optic, right? So they've been battling each other forever. And the Envy versus Optic is the E Clasico, right? Like El Clasico is Madrid versus Barcelona. Right, yes. That's like huge. E Clasico is Envy versus Optic. That was always a thing. But Astro was just as good at production as Hector is. That was his way of announcing Crim6 for the team. He was the last person to get announced. And Crim6 is a very serious person. He in a very, very similar way to Formal, is a grinder. He will play the game 18 hours a day, every day. If they're winning, if they're losing, if they're not competing, whatever it is, he's going to play, and he will be the best in his position because he plays, he puts the time in. He had that same issue with Scump, is that he wasn't playing enough. He didn't seem serious enough about the competition. Didn't feel like he wanted to win. Felt like he was wasting. That's
He
where
referred to his experience as babysitting.
babysitting. Yeah,
Yes. So that's what I was getting to. So there's always a great bit of drama in any type of competitive sport because that's what you have to do to sell the got to get people in the seats, got to get people to care. Drama gets people to care. But every once in a while you get a real beef. And I noticed that even though this
it
was
is.
like and then okay, Scump's response to it really played to
He's
his
so funny.
character.
He's so funny. Yeah, Scump is really funny.
That was a great moment for me while I was driving to work today. I was like, "Oh, I try not to take too many things
I'll
seriously.
never forgive, and I'll
Forgive
never forget.
never
And
forget."
he's like standing over. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
Scump is hilarious.
Yeah.
Scump is a really really funny guy. One of my favorite videos of him of all time is well, there's a lot, but there's one where Hector goes up to Alexa and says, "Hey Alexa, who's your favorite professional Call of Duty player?" He goes, "Oh well, I think I like Scump," and then it pans to Scump and he's like, and it's just really funny because the timing was really good.
Hand, wrist.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those situations. He's just a funny guy. So, the other side of that is that when he's playing a lot, he is the best in the game. There is no there. He's the best in the game. He could play with yeah. Oh yeah. He could play with an SMG. He could play with an AR. He could pick up a sniper. He's the guy that you rely on to hit the clutch. There is one video of Black Ops 2 on God. I wish I could remember the name of the map, but he's on a bus, kills two guys in front of him, and what they say is the $50,000 turn on because there was a guy behind him who won a championship, and he turns and kills the guy after he had gotten shot twice. He's that guy when he plays. When he plays a lot, he is the king. That's what it is. But
real quick, what's the guy's name that recently retired? I just accidentally stumbled onto his video, and you were like, "Oh yeah, he's the greatest to ever do it."
Big Timer. He's been retired since 2014.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
Big Timer.
Where does he stand in like the rankings of all of this?
He's your favorite player's favorite player.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Big Timer. Like we can even go back and watch Call of Duty, old Call of Duty eSports. I can do it today. I can do it right now. We'll cancel this entire podcast. We'll do it right now. But
we'll shut it down. Thanks for coming, everyone.
Right. He's the guy. So, like in Black Ops 2, very specifically, there was a thing called anchoring, right? So, where if you were holding a hard point or a hill and it's to your left, you want to sit in a certain spot to make sure your team spawns closer than the other team. He's the guy who figured that out. He's the guy who mastered anchoring. He was the guy who would learn the game and make sure everyone else around him knew it. He was honestly, I think the best player of all time. It might be Crim6, but as far as fandom goes, it's Big Timer. For sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the three of them are walking down the road right now, and you're about to go full fanboy, but you can only do it once.
Big Timer for sure.
Yeah, before security grabs you,
yeah.
Push the other
like,
two
out. yeah, for sure. I think Big Timer's amazing. So if we're gonna be on the CDL, the Call of Duty League, I don't even know what their CDL stands. Seattle might be your team to win.
Seattle.
Yes. So because it's all people who are experienced, it's all people who have won championships, it's all people who have played in the high level games and don't need that mentorship. It's Karma, Enable, Octane, Slacked, and Apathy. They've all been in those situations. Karma is amazing. Karma's great. I'm surprised he actually didn't end up on either Dallas or Chicago. But Karma's amazing. The guy's incredible. He's a robot.
When does this all come to head? When can we watch it? When can we
I bet
it,
you the first tournament is. Oh, actually, there's a season. I bet you we start season in December.
Okay.
Yeah, I bet you we start it. But
I'm sorry.
That might be
just popped up.
that might be your team to. That might be your team to win. Is Seattle?
Seattle.
Yeah. I don't know what the other teams are. I don't think Minnesota is going to be competitive. I don't think New York is going to be competitive. Well, they have some good players.
And since we have some noobs like myself who are just transitioning from well, actually, you know what? Let me just speak for myself because I don't know anything about this realm. These are all console players, correct? This is the realm of the joystick.
The way that Call of Duty eSports works, it's on the PlayStation. The last generation, it was on the Xbox 360, but we went over to PlayStation for this last few years after the PS4 came out. So it's on console. Yep.
Okay.
There are no PC players.
Okay. None that are like taken seriously. They're not.
They are not allowed in the league.
Wow.
Yes, it is console only. Just play it on the PlayStation.
But we're talking about guys who can hit. I mean, I've watched some videos. They can hit headshots with the analog sticks.
Yeah, they're good.
Just as
No,
well.
that's what I'm saying. The top end of the console people are incredible. Yeah, they're just as good as PC players for sure. I'm trying to see. We haven't gotten an announcement from Florida yet. And we haven't seen anyone from Toronto has their entire team up. Their Methods is on. Methods is the Gorillas, they only have one player announced, and it's Aches, so I will instantly not like that team.
Why not?
He's the heel of Call of Duty.
Oh, okay.
Aches, he's the in your face.
Is that one psychopath that was screaming? Who is that guy?
That's Killa. Okay. Adam Killa Sloss. He hasn't been relevant since
buy that guy, buy him a drink.
Yeah, he hasn't been relevant since Big Timer.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm excited for the league. I'm actually I'm gonna watch it. You know, I'm oh.
Now, when you say there, do you mean like there in front of your screen, or you
if I can go to the New York games, I might.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I might go.
All right, so we'll have a gaming with a dad representative there.
Oh yeah, I'll be there. I'll have a sign. I would go to it for sure.
Yeah. Oh man, this is.
Oh no, hold on. Actually, I can't.
You excited.
I can't go to the New York one. I'll have to go to the Toronto one.
Why can't you go to New York?
Because we live in Canada, Steve.
So what, dude?
I'm going to the Toronto one.
We're 12 hours away from New York. George St. Pierre, our patron saint, would travel down to Manhattan every freaking day.
It's actually in Queens. The Mets own it. Yeah,
really?
Yeah. The New York Metropolitans.
Look, I gotta be honest with you, man. I don't understand anything of what's going on, but I'm excited about this shit. Now I don't know how much I'm gonna make through, but I'm gonna watch it.
I'm gonna watch for sure.
I'm gonna watch, dude.
Hey, we can even do recap videos every week. Who knows?
That's what. No, I got the whole lineup skip, and as drama unfolds, and I want to see drama, dude. We're gonna talk about that stuff too, man.
Yeah, for sure.
What else we got on the docket for tonight, man?
Not sure. What do we got? Some of the stuff is you. Do you really want to talk about the Nate Diaz situation? Because I really don't care.
I got to talk about it.
He popped hot for trace amounts of Asarm, which is the same stuff. Yes, which is the same stuff that Sean O'Malley popped hot for.
Okay, which is really that
Ostarine or something else.
Supplement. If that's a
pretty much, that's pretty much what it boils down to. He's not suspended. USADA isn't taking provisional action against him. Nothing.
Are we still on? Are we still on right now? Or is he just being a baby?
He's still on. The fight's still on. He's just being a baby.
All right, so I got to talk about it a little bit because I just want to. So now that the excitement and the wow, this fight is being announced has gone away, that's just completely left me.
Yeah,
I want to talk about the reality of this fight, and I'm not just jumping on the Usman train. Let's look at this fight for what it really is, dude. This is a fan favorite, fan friendly fight. You know what I'm saying? And it makes no real. In fact, I can't believe the Diaz brothers pulled it off again, man.
Sorry. Hawani just released a statement 11 minutes ago. A WADA accredited lab in Salt Lake City, Utah has confirmed that 2 bottles of the same organic, vegan, plant-based daily multivitamin that Mr. Diaz was using were each contaminated with the exact same thing that they're not taking any action against.
Yeah. So
there's a tannin supplement.
Here's the thing, right? Do you remember Diaz versus Anderson Silva?
No.
Okay.
What year was this?
Oh my goodness! I was in Philadelphia working. So this was my first kid was born. This had to be around 2016, late 2017, or something like that. I can't. It was in
Really?
the winter.
Wait,
Wait.
no, there's no way. Diaz hasn't fought in 4 years.
No. This is his brother, Nick.
Yeah, Nick Diaz hasn't fought in 4 years. Remember he had that suspension and he refused to pay it?
No. Let's look it up. Let's
I'm
see it.
looking it up. Anyway,
I
keep
got it.
going with the story. I got it.
So here's the thing, right?
This is versus Silva, right?
Yeah. This was billed as a fight that was supposed to, the marketing behind it was this is a fight that should have happened years ago. People have wanted to see it since he was the champion. Diaz was the champion at Strikeforce, and Anderson was the champion. And at the UFC, it's going to be a great striking affair, and it turned out to be a complete egg.
This is the one where Diaz
right?
laid on the ground?
Yes. What year was that?
2015. January
So I was right.
of 2015. You said 2016. 27.
All right. I was off by 1 year. What are you gonna do? I'm off by 1 year.
4 years, Steve. I was right.
Listen.
This actually might be the first event that I.
Really?
I remember Ally Quinta beating up Joe Lozon.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I was stuck. Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't in Philly. I was in Boston. I was in a very nice hotel, and I was snowed in, and I had some of the greatest room service. And I watched this on my Windows Surface connected to the hotel TV, and it was amazing. But marketing was great. The marketing was there. They made this fight out to be something that it should not have been. It was a main event on a pay-per-view card with no belt on the line, had no bearing on the rest of the division. This fight is a little bit different. This might actually, the winner could potentially get catapulted into a fight with the winner of Usman versus Covington. But I'm going to be completely honest with you. I think that Nate Diaz has nothing to lose in this situation. And there's a very good chance Jorge Masvidal, I can't even use the word exposed to describe this because the man is legit. He earned his nickname. He is game bred. That man can box. I don't know if you knew this. He has a legit black belt in jiu-jitsu, I believe.
Sure.
I've seen him roll before. He's actually really deadly on the ground. And he's got pretty slick takedown defense too. But this fight is stupid. It should I'm gonna pay for it. And you're more than welcome to come over to the ranch and watch it. And I'm gonna
This
pay
is
for it.
in November? This is like next week, right?
Yeah, dude, I know I'm gonna regret it though. I know I'm gonna regret it. Something about this I'm gonna regret.
Yeah, I don't think the matchup is actually that interesting.
It's not.
It feels like Nate Diaz might be better than Masvidal in almost every aspect.
So the one way that I see Nate, the clear path to victory is Nate Diaz is very durable, and his boxing is as such where he can outpace you. And while he's outpacing you and he's outlasting you, he's hitting you with a significant amount of strikes.
Yeah.
And those are taking a toll on you. The only thing that would change it if he mixed up his headshots with body shots, he would get a lot of people out of there a lot quicker than he does.
Sure.
And like a fine wine, he apparently is getting better with age.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. Is it what else is going on that card?
Actually, I don't know. Do you have it pulled up?
Let's see.
I don't have that card pulled up. If I remember correctly, that card is pretty light. That's why they're in New York, right? I think the tickets are pretty cheap.
Are they?
Might be cheaper to go to it than to freaking buy it on television.
Might be cheaper to sneak into it.
You know how to sneak into events like this? You hold a ladder.
Dude, I snuck into Depeche Mode at Madison Square Garden. I don't even like Depeche Mode, but I was there.
You hold a ladder.
Uh-huh.
That's it. That's how people got into the Super Bowl. They said they had work to do, and they're like, all right, cool, you go this way. And then they just walked in with a ladder. And then they watched the game.
Card's not even coming up for me, dude. That's not a good sign.
UFC 243?
Oh, there we go. Bam. All right, here we go. So, actually, you know what? I digress. This is a great card. I forgot about this. So we got the main event, Jorge versus Nate. Then we got Kelvin Gastelum welcoming Darren Till.
Yes. Actually, you know what? This is a good card.
This is a fight I'm looking forward to. Stephen Thompson versus Vincent Luque.
Yeah.
Have you watched this? Have you seen this guy fight, Vincent?
Yeah, it's Vicente.
Vicente. He is actually pretty amazing,
yeah.
But he's due to get knocked out. Every fight,
Wonder Boy might be it.
Wonder Boy has a very suspect chin at this point. And then you got Derek Lewis versus. I'm not even gonna go for it.
I just like watching Derek Lewis fight.
Yeah, but the guy he's fighting, this guy actually had a really good career in Bellator.
Blagoy Ivanov?
Yeah, actually has a really heartwarming story. Got stabbed in the bar lost a bunch of weight because of it, almost died from being stabbed. Has come back in life and doing really good. It's
He
actually a
lost to
really good fighter.
JDS at Fight Night
He
528.
did.
He
He did
beat Ben
lose to James.
Rothwell
Yep.
and he beat Tai Tuivasa.
Yep. And we got Kevin Lee versus my boy Gillespie, future of the
Yeah, I
division.
like watching Kevin Lee fight.
All right, so this is
Oh,
gonna be
Corey Anderson versus Johnny Walker and Burgos versus that unknown guy is on the prelims.
I actually don't think Reyes should get the next shot at John. I think it should be
No,
Walker,
it should be Walker.
Walker versus Reyes. Then the winner gets John.
Oh my god, do we really want John Jones to not fight for the next year?
Yeah, it takes a lot of time to get sober, dude. You need
That's
Leon
fair.
Edwards won't be replacing Nate Diaz.
No,
UFC
Nate Diaz is gonna fight. Who cares? How have we turned this into a UFC podcast?
because, dude, I love MMA.
Me too.
Even though I can't pronounce the name of most of the people that
Any
fight,
of them.
and like Kelvin Gastelum versus Darren Till.
It's a good
That's gonna
fight.
be really.
It's a good
It's
fight.
gonna be interesting to see Darren Till at middleweight, and Gastelum they're throwing him right to the wolves with that
Oh
one
yeah,
because
because
let's be honest,
they want to bounce. If Till wins, he gets the next title shot.
yeah,
Right
and if Calvin wins,
up
that puts him
there.
right back. It puts him right back in there. I don't think the UFC would be mad at running that fight back against him and Stylebender
Better. Yeah, I think so
because
too.
that was a great fight. Uh, I foresee Thompson going up to middleweight. You heard it here first. Pretty soon, if he loses this fight,
I think if he loses, he might retire, man.
he shouldn't. He should probably go up to because Weidman's out of the middleweight division. They trained together for a long time. Actually, they're in-laws. By the way, I don't know
Really?
if you knew that. Yeah. So now that Weidman's out of the middleweight division, there's room for him to go up there. Vicente is a dangerous fight for him, and yeah, it's interesting to think about where this kid came from on the Ultimate Fighter to where he's at now. He's only 27. Anyone who's fought in this guy, I always feel like they come in like, okay, so I'm gonna be the guy that finally capitalizes on how much damage he takes,
Uh huh.
and he kicks it in the second gear and instantly starts starching these guys. I take it, and then Kevin Lee. I, what can you say nice about Kevin Lee, right?
You know what? He changed camps for this fight.
Did he again?
Yeah, he went up to TriStar.
Oh, did
Right,
he?
that's TriStar is where Faraz Sahabi is.
Yes,
Right. Yeah, that's where he's training out of now.
that's a good. He should stick there, dude. He should
That's
stick
because
there.
they I think Rogan's actually the one who convinced him to do it. But last time he was on
Really?
Rogan, he said, "Hey, listen, go up and work with Faraz." He's like, "You fight a lot like GSP does." He's like, "You guys have very similar styles. Go up and work with him, who made GSP a champion." So yeah, he went up to our home, Canada,
Canada.
and is now training at a TriStar.
So here's the thing about that comment about making GSP a champion. So, man, you should go back and watch. You should watch GSP's documentary, and it's just amazing to see the level. I'm not saying you don't see this from MMA fighters because they're professional athletes. There's a level of dedication with most of them, except for Derek Lewis, who is just obscene and vile. But I love the
I
guy.
love Derek Lewis, dude.
But
That guy has hands, man.
he has hand strength, and it's actually I would not be mad in my lifetime if I ever seen him accidentally become the heavyweight champion. But GSP and
And
Faraz
accidentally is the
Sahabi,
way he would do it.
100%. Anyone that's ever trained with GSP, Faraz Sahabi included, they just like they can't say enough about his training. And I just think that dude, like any young fighter, any chance you get to be around a guy like that is going to be good for you, and it's going to be good for Kevin because the one thing that I always seen with him is it's his pacing, and he burns himself out.
Yeah.
He's also had some health, recovering from staph infection when he fought Tony Ferguson. That really will deplete your energy, obviously.
And fighting Tony Ferguson might also deplete everything you have because he kind of seems like a vampire.
Yeah, and he kind of looks like what staph infection would look like if it was a person.
Apparently, he's a super nice guy, from what I've heard.
Oh, he's amazing. I just, I had Kevin Lee winning that fight, and he gassed himself.
Yeah.
He lost that fight from overexerting himself, and it's going to be interesting to see. But Gregor, this is not a good fight for him, bro.
Yeah.
No, this is not a good fight for him.
This is the guy you think is gonna become the champion.
No, no, no. Actually, no, it's not that guy. I've seen Green fight before. If you get a chance, look up some of his fights. And
Gillespie?
yeah, he
I'm almost positive this is the guy that you sent me a picture of and said, this guy's gonna become champion. Mark my
Oh
words.
yes, yes, that is him. I'm sorry about
Yeah, it
that.
is. I know
Yeah,
for a
it is
fact it
him.
is.
It is him. This is a bad fight. This is a bad fight for him. This guy's a specialist. He's a specialist in Trent.
Kevin Lee's a bad fight for most people.
Yeah, but this dude, I mean, this could be so. This can go like how it was with Suarez and Ansaroff, that Nunez's fiance, and was it Nina Suarez? Is that her name?
That's the picture you sent me.
Yeah, that's it. Why are you showing people my private pictures that I send you?
Share this one. Guess the other ones I'll keep to myself.
But I just this guy's wrestling is just it's not,
Mind blowing. It's baffling.
It's baffling, and like if he gets a hold of you, dude, that's the fight. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like it's gonna be one of those fights where if you're a Kevin Lee fan, like if he hits Gregor once, you're like, all right, we got a chance. And he grabs him, it's like,
turn it off.
Look, all right, well, I'm gonna go get a hot dog because that's the fight, because he's not gonna let go of him, dude. But I'm pumped about this. I am pumped about this.
That can happen, dude. That's
I'm
hilarious.
gonna get off MMA, dude, because I'll keep us here all night. Dude.
That's quite all right. We're gonna talk about it tomorrow night too. So,
so we covered Shroud. Oh, in closing, I was interested to know this from you, man. Levity here. What's your favorite mix while you're streaming or playing games? Best mix like you've ever compiled?
It's, you know what? It's actually usually just like chill step. You know what chill step is? It's like dubstep, but like way more mellow. I actually usually don't like to play music while I'm playing games. Like if I'm playing games just by myself, I do not play music.
Really?
Because a lot of times I'm in PvP situations and I want to focus on footsteps.
Right.
So it's hard for me to hear that. But there is one like a lot. And it's by
all right, well, I gotta look that up. That's an amazing name.
Then yeah, it's Taking You Higher Part 2, which is a progressive house mix. Yeah, it's just good stuff. This guy does a lot of good stuff. He I also just like to have like voices in them a lot of times, like weird. I don't like music while I play because I need to be able to focus on the game pretty heavy. But
yeah, I guess that would make sense because I forgot about the footstep element.
I play a lot of shooters, so you know, if it were a fighting game, yeah, I'm gonna have like some cool freaking upbeat, like probably classic rock on or something, right? Because I feel like I'm back in the '70s playing fighting games.
We used to play a lot of music when you were still streaming.
Yes, that's for the stream.
Okay.
That's it. But as soon as the stream stops, and if I'm going to play games casually after, it's like click, click, pause.
off.
Pretty much. Yeah, and if I was ever playing something very seriously, like say if I was playing Escape from Tarkov, there is no music playing. Like even if I'm in a Discord call and I'm playing Escape from Tarkov and the other people aren't, they're having a conversation, I remove myself from it because I need to be able to hear the footsteps. So.
Zach, you're getting intense, man.
Yeah, so
Zach has been playing this game Escape from Tarkov, and like whenever you bring it up, it's like you go up like 6.
So I get anxiety.
I was like, hey man, do you think I could get in there? You're like, you could not get in there, Steve. You are not ready for this type of game.
Dude, we were playing the other day and we had a really good run, had a lot of stuff. Right? I had $500,000 worth of stuff on me. And as we're on the way out, 2 guys pop in the corner and I'm like, ah! And just start shooting and then just miss all of my shots and die. And I'm like, I could have spit on the exit. I could got there. But
phrasing?
Spit on the exit.
Oh, gotcha.
Died. I choked my shots. I was pissed.
I gotta look up some gameplay on this, man. Like, wait.
You're gonna look at it and you're gonna be like, wow, that looks good. and then you're gonna try to play it, and then you're not gonna be able to figure out which ammo goes with which mag, which goes with which gun. Because I struggle with that, and it's annoying.
Oh, that's all right, dude. My computer doesn't play video games. I don't know if you got that email.
That's a good point, actually.
Like, you don't have to worry about me.
I think I should just come over and fix your computer, dude.
Like my computer does. Why is this guy speaking Russian? It does not play video games. In fact, I'm almost a step away from being a console gamer again. That's
That's a
where
good
I'm at
point.
with those.
Hey, you can just buy it on console and we could play together.
The thought, I won't lie, did cross my mind, but then I thought about my wife's boot in my neck.
And the fact that I was gonna yell at you for buying a console game.
Okay, I'm looking at the game right now, and it looks pretty sick. You're
It's
right.
incredible, dude. Looks amazing. It's awesome. But are you watching Cotton? Is that the
Oh,
YouTube channel you're watching?
no, I'm watching
Oh,
some
okay.
dude named Anton.
You should watch Cotton. He does the best videos. But the risk versus reward in that game, incredible. It's hard. It's a hard game.
This is obviously not a free to play game.
No.
Nah.
No, and you don't want the base version of the game either. Remember how when you're like, hey, I want to buy Call of Duty. Do I want this or do I want the better version? I'm like, nah, just buy the base version. There's no reason otherwise. This is the one that you want to spend the $140 on.
Really? So
Because,
you come in with some stuff.
Right. You come in with some stuff and you have bank space. I have run out of bank space because of all the good runs that we've had recently and all the loot that I've got.
Who you been playing with? With Cash and
Nah, I don't play with that guy.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't play with us. We're not good enough for Cash. Just, Arcs. Arcs is incredible. So he's been carrying me through.
Graphics look really good on this game, dude.
The best. The best, dude. Yes, don't waste your money on it.
I feel my credit card coming out of my pocket right now.
No, I promise you, don't waste your money on it. That game is beyond buggy. So.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
When people load into the game.
Actually, if you tell me not to do anything anymore, I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah. When people load into the game, right? Because like you randomly spawn in part of the map, and that's where you have to like battle and get out.
Right.
The entire game lags. Like to the point where it drops to 1 frame per second and then back up. So if you're in a fight with someone and someone else loads in, you're screwed.
Dude, I gotta ask this question, man, and I'm not just quoting him because he's the Doc, the 2-time back-to-back blockbuster champion, but he's got a point on this, man. And I'm willing to be corrected, so I'm gonna go to my serious voice on this, right?
All right.
You know what I miss, man? When I used to buy a game on PlayStation 3, PlayStation 2, and even PlayStation 1, it came in the final version, the final cut, right? It was ready, it was playable, didn't have to worry about any day one patches. Well, PlayStation 3, you had some of that stuff later on.
All right. Okay.
And it was good to go out the box.
I'm hearing you out.
But now it seems to be, hey, release the beta, then release another version of the beta. Then we'll get them a day one patch. Then we'll get a patch for the day one patch. And games seem to be getting rushed out. Like you pay money for a game. There should be no bugs.
Okay. That's fair. Let's use an example. Have you ever played Grand Theft Auto 3?
Was that before or after San Andreas?
That was before.
Okay. Then no.
Have you played San Andreas?
Yes.
Is that not the single most buggy game you've played in a long time?
Oh, it was riddled with glitches.
Okay. Then your point is entirely invalidated because that was a PS2 game. That was the final.
Gameplay.
That was the final version of that game. It doesn't mean it was the best version, right?
That's true. I do remember at one point when you were chasing those cops. Those guys in my game, they're supposed to be on a fire truck. The first attempt I made to catch them, they were floating in the air.
There you go.
I do remember that.
It's just
maybe I was yesteryear. Okay.
You're looking at it nostalgically. Okay. I get that. I don't mind downloading patches, especially when it fixes the game. Right. What I don't like is when you're buying a game. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit the mic. Buying a game, pay $60 for this much of the game.
Yeah.
Right. And then another $60 to unlock this much of the game. And then another $80 to unlock the rest of the game. That's the part that I don't like. Right. I don't like on disc DLC. Games have been caught doing that. Right. Where the game was 70 gigs out of 100. And then the other 30 gigs was there on day one, but it just wasn't accessible until you paid for it 6 months later.
Now that's robbery, is what it is, dude.
That is every game now that has DLC.
You didn't have to worry about this stuff with Street Fighter 2 on Super Nintendo.
Yeah, you didn't. You just had to worry about the entire game not working sometimes because you had to blow in the stupid cartridge.
No, that was the NES, my bro.
Yeah, I don't care. It's all garbage.
Wait, I'm trying to think. What was the fix? Hey, if anyone wants to comment in the bottom, if anyone comments, like there was a fix for the Super Nintendo, and I think you started off with the blow with the that joint, but that was
Uh-huh.
more for Nintendo. So there was something else you had to do with the power or reset button when it started bugging out, and it
I
was
don't know.
crazy. There used to be masters at it. My buddy Sully were like, and I'm like, oh, he's got it, and it's working, and then it's not working
And
again.
it's not working again. We've played for 10 minutes and done research for 4 hours.
What do we got going on tomorrow night, Zach? Since we're getting ready to sign off here,
We are UFC Singapore recap.
right?
That'll be there. You guys just were able to witness all of the Destiny 2 gameplay this week. We actually had a PvP gameplay,
Right.
which was a lot of fun to do. It was a lot of fun. So hopefully we're gonna get more of those in the future once we fix Modern Warfare for Steve.
Yeah.
Next week we have more Borderlands 3 by popular request.
I'm starting to get riled up here, man. I'm starting to get riled up. I can't.
That's all right. That's all right. We'll fix it. So we have Borderlands for next week, for next week coming up. You guys tomorrow we'll see the UFC recap, and maybe surprise videos during the week if we can get Modern Warfare to work, and I'll just work double time getting stuff edited. So and we have to figure out what we're gonna record on Monday. So you guys have any suggestions of what you want us to see to play? Definitely leave a comment down below.
Like and subscribe and share, please.
Yes, also all of that. I thought Steve was saying something on the way out here, and I kind of missed it.
I'm
Oh, you're dying.
Okay.
All right. Check out the Twitter page. Check out the Twitter page. Check out the Instagram page.
Links in the bottom.
Yeah, links in the description. We're having fun with those. And yeah, that's about it.